up, mamas? Thanks so much for being here with us. For this segment, we have Tiffani Sierra, and she is the CEO and founder of Improv It Up. We're going to be talking about juggling it all, because that's something that everyone has a hard time doing. Tiffani, thanks so much for being here with me.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. So explain what Improv It Up is. And this is a foundation that you started. What is it exactly?
Yes. So we are a company that works with middle and high school students, and we work with corporations. So our heart part, we're a social enterprise, which is a company, a for-profit company with heart. So our heart part of what we do is we do therapeutic arts programs. And so we work with young people in middle and high schools, and we use improv and playwriting as a way to give young people a voice. So we talk about social issues, and we use improv to be able to get those stories out. And then we write on our feet, and then we put that play up for communities. So it's a beautiful way to give young people a voice for things that are going on in their world. So that's the heart part of what we do. And then the other part of what we do is we work with corporations, we work with businesses, entrepreneurs, and we help them become more of themselves and to work on their communication skills. And we do team building, and we'll really just take any kind of issue a company is having, and we'll take that learning and make it experiential. Because let's be honest, do we want to sit down and read a book or have like a really boring seminar? Or would you rather get up and play? So we find that play, actually you retain, it's around 85% more of the information when your body is going through the process and you're playing rather than just hearing the information.
That is incredible. I love that. That sounds
Thank you.
Way better than some of the company things that I've been to in the past. That sounds like a much more fun way of doing things. So what inspired you to start this company?
Yes. So I was 3 years old when I decided that I wanted to be an actor. And my mom really nurtured that. And I'm so grateful that she always nurtured this creativity in me. So I went to performing arts school. I lived in New York and went to a conservatory. And in 2006, I decided that I wanted to transition as a theater actress, which I was working out in San Francisco, into an actress in television. So 2006, I get into a school called the Second City, which is like the Harvard of improv schools. in Chicago is where the original one started. And that's where Saturday Night Live began, Tina Fey, and a lot of those guys all went to the Second City. So I got into the Second City in Hollywood. I moved out there. I was just so excited to start my life in Hollywood and go to this amazing school. And 6 months into my move, my mother actually passed away really tragically.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. My mother had a lifetime battle with prescription drugs. And so in 2006, it took her life. And so I was studying at the Second City when this all happened, and I took a break. And when I came back to Southern California, because I'm from San Francisco or Daly City originally, when I came back to Southern California, my improv class became my therapy. I was finding that I never felt more free to be me. I mean, literally, that is exactly what I felt. I felt like I could just creatively express myself. I felt like my quirkiness, or, all the little things that I do that were, weird when I was younger, but now we're being accepted. And so I realized that improv was more than just a tool for actors. So I started working for acting schools and teaching, and then eventually started teaching my own workshop out of my church basement. And then I started getting non-actors. I mean, I had a priest, a seminarian, an engineer. I mean, it was literally like the start of a joke in my class.
That sounds like it.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't believe this group of people would be in this class, but they were all saying the same thing that I experienced about improv. It was helping to free them and helping them to just be more comfortable. And so I started my company in 2012 and then officially made it into an LLC in 2016.
Oh my gosh, that is an amazing story. Good for you.
Thank
That's
you.
absolutely incredible. And you mentioned how it was therapeutic for you to do improv, and now you are bringing this to so many different types of people. What have you seen improv do for especially these younger kids that you are working with?
Absolutely. So one of my favorite stories is we primarily work with in underserved communities. Prior to me working or having my own company, I worked inside of juvenile halls and we brought arts programs to young people, kind of like rehabilitation for them, giving them another opportunity to be heard and seen. And we were working at a continuation school, and there was a young woman who was not speaking. She had clearly gone through a traumatic experience and just didn't talk. And so she would just be very quiet. She was extremely smart. And through improv and through our workshops and giving her permission to just be herself and really just kind of loving her where she was and creating this ensemble of classmates around her who would champion her, she ended up being the lead in our play. And when we did that play for the school, I mean, I'm going to cry. It was like standing ovation from her classmates. They could not believe that, number one, they heard her talking, and number two, that she was the lead in this play. I think of her so much. It's incredible what she was courageous enough to do.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And I bet you have lots of stories like that. Explain how improv is beneficial for teaching educational goals and soft skills.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the schools, we combine social emotional learning with improv. So for example, we might be using a game, and that game is actually going to help young people be able to focus. It's going to help them to be able to use their voice for the first time. It's going to help them be able to make eye contact. I mean, we come across so many young people who can't even look you in the eye. So on the school side, that's really the combination of what we do. On the corporate side, with our corporate clients, we help them to become just better communicators. Time and time again, we hear from our clients that they feel timid to share their voice, or, something in their past might not allow them to feel comfortable enough to raise their hand in a meeting because they're afraid of getting shot down. And so we use the rules and principles of improv to be able to help them to use those and integrate them into their everyday work life. So for example, the number one rule of improv is yes and. And yes and means you work in agreement with what's happening and you're not going to negate something that somebody said. It doesn't mean that you think that idea is like amazing and you're, in love with it. It just means that you're not going to negate it. Because how many times, well, for me, I remember growing up and raising my hand in class and getting the wrong answer, and then everybody makes fun of you. There's so much shame around that.
Mm-hmm.
But in a business setting, if we're able to help these companies create a sense of a yes and environment, when they're building an idea or, idea generation or planning something for the future, if you're yes-anding, it doesn't mean you like the idea that's just been said. It means you're building upon that idea. And so it just creates a positive environment where everybody feels accepted. And we know that when we feel accepted, that just so many positive things happen with not only within a company, but within, our own selves and our everyday lives.
Right. It's a unique approach on the corporate side. What type of feedback have you received from it so far?
Yeah, so much. Goodness, we work with a very large corporation, which I cannot say who they are because we signed a non-disclosure agreement. But we hear from them that the ones that keep in touch with us, that it's just really helped them just become more of themselves, made them more comfortable communicating, even made them into better salespeople. They just feel really grateful that they have the skills that they can use on a daily basis.
That's
not
awesome.
only in their work lives, but in their personal lives. Because it seeps into everything. Even as a mom, the rules can still apply and we can use them in our everyday lives.
Right. And let's transition to that a little bit. Do you have any kids?
Yes.
How many kids do you have?
One. And it
One
feels
kid.
like 100.
I feel ya. How old is your?
She's 2.
How old is she? She's 2.
2.
Yes, I'm right in the trenches with you.
Woo.
Yep. I have an almost 2-year-old and a newborn, so I'm right there with you.
You have a newborn?
Yes, he's about a month old. So hey, we're hanging in there. The fact that I showered and did my hair today.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So thank you. So me thinking about you having a 2-year-old and doing all this, how do you juggle it all?
Wow, I've thought about that word, just really kind of just sitting with that word juggling. And really what comes up for me is it's not a juggle, it's a teeter-totter.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I have realized in the 2 years of being a mom, hardest 2 years of my life, is when I'm giving to one thing, the other thing is maybe not getting as much attention.
Right.
And so when I'm fully invested in giving to my business, then my daughter I have an amazing, amazing in-laws that help me out. And so, while my daughter's getting loved and nurtured, she's not getting the attention from me in those moments. Right. And then the moments when I'm giving my daughter my full attention, my business is not getting my full attention. So it's being okay with that teeter-totter and knowing what the most important things are, especially as being a mom, is I've learned that my daughter, as long as she knows that she's loved, she doesn't need 5 million toys that all these Pinterest keep telling you. She just needs my Amazon boxes. That's all that she needs. So I want to encourage all the moms, just keep buying things on a daily basis on Amazon, because your kids will just play with the boxes that they come in.
Well, that's easy to do. Right?
Yeah. They don't need all those fancy toys, just Amazon boxes.
No, I love that you said that. I love that you said the most important thing is that she feels loved.
Absolutely.
And that's how you can kind of gauge how you're doing